Hello, everyone, and welcome to another incredible episode of Empowered Conversations, where I have amazing conversations with extraordinary people who are out in the world doing beautiful things in service to others, as well as all around living their best lives. And guys, that is the epitome of my very special guest today. I'm so excited to bring her on. Lacy Hart is also one of the 12 fabulous guest speakers at the upcoming Ultimate Quantum Retreat taking place in Arizona, Tucson, Arizona, May 13th through the 15th. If you don't have your ticket yet, you must get your ticket. Join us in person for these 12 people who are going to be flying in from all around the world to share with you their gifts. Up level your life, up level your vibration, up level how you're showing up in the world so you can create the life that you deserve, that you want. And guys, let me tell you, there are links to the tickets in the description of this. So without further ado, I'm going to welcome my guest, Lacy Hart. She is a Reiki Master, spiritual mentor, and teacher. She loves teaching Reiki, a hands-on healing modality. She teaches level 1, 2, and 3 locally to both her community and now online. Lacy began as a self-taught Reiki healer and then found herself surrounded by mentors and teachers ready to help her along the way. Her passion is being of service and helping people discover their special and unique gifts, which enable them to live their best lives. Speaking my language. Reiki changed her entire life, and she is so excited to share it with the world. Lacy's from a small Midwest town in Indiana and is the mother to 3 adorable young children. She loves cooking, whoop whoop, just like me, reading, and being outside in her garden. Guys, drum roll, please. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Help me in welcoming Lacy Hart. What's
Hi,
up,
good
girl?
afternoon. What's up?
Yes, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you so much for having me on.
Oh my God, you are so welcome. It is an honor to have you here, and I cannot wait to meet you in person.
I
I
can't.
am I know it's going. It's just. I mean, I know we say this every time we get on with one another because you and I have hosted, other community empowerment hour. And it's just like, oh my God, it's like I'm chomping at the bit, about to jump out of my skin, ready to get out there to Arizona and meet everybody and just have this experience.
I am too. I'm so ready. I'm ready to hug everybody. Just
Oh my God, yes,
yeah,
like real hugs.
like a real hug. Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. Oh my God, we got Tracy Van Fleet. Hey, girl. She says
Hi,
hi.
Tracy. Hi.
Thanks for being on.
Yes.
So again, it's an honor to have you here, Lacy. I'm so excited. I'm so interested in Reiki, and I've had Reiki personally done on myself. It's something that I actually would like to learn myself, like become a facilitator of Reiki. Um, at some point, there's
Right.
so much. I just published a cookbook, so there's lots going on. And hey, Tree of Life Reiki and Christina, what's up, girl? Hello,
Christina.
my beautiful friends. Um,
Hello.
yes. So, Lacy, I love to get to the heart, to the core of my guest, meaning
Yeah.
we all have a why. Like, why? Like, what led you to choosing Reiki? What all in your life transpired, or what epiphanic moments? I love the word epiphany, but
Yes.
epiphanic, if that's a word, moments did you experience that led you to where you are right now today, doing what you're doing for others in this beautiful way out in the world?
Well, there's lots of experiences over time. I would say the Reiki came to me. That is one thing. I was asleep one night and my dad had passed away. And my dad and I were very estranged when I was younger. I come from a family of severe addiction
Mhm.
everywhere around and severe mental health issues. So there was a lot of chaos when I grew up. And he wasn't around. And then we reunited when he got sober. And then he got cancer and passed away 2 years later. So I knew my dad, really knew my dad for about 2 years.
Gotcha.
And when he passed, I was so sad and so devastated. And I went through a whole year of psychiatrists and doctors putting me on and off medicine, going through just suicidal moments, just anything. I was a guinea pig. I was a guinea pig for a while. And there was one night that I woke up in the middle of the night and it was like Jesus and God's voice that said, Lacy, it's time to heal now. And I couldn't move in my bed. I had so much anxiety that I could just hear the thoughts in my head. And they were telling me to put your hands over your heart and take deep breaths and breathe it out your feet. And they walked me through a 30-minute healing on my own. And I went outside. It was in the middle of the night. It was like 3 a.m. And I put my feet in the grass and I thought, oh, what just happened to me? And I couldn't tell anybody because, side story, I grew up with a grandma who had schizophrenia who used to speak in tongues to me when we were little. And it was just a very scary experience. So I was scared to share with people that I was hearing voices in my head
Mhm.
because there had been talk about wanting to put me in a mental institution because of it.
And how
So
old were you when this happened again?
my dad passed away in 2017 when I was 25 and I'm 30 now. So I've been
Okay.
doing Reiki for 5 years.
Okay.
So I didn't tell anybody for a long time. I kept it to myself and I just let this voice walk me through everything. I
Mhm.
just knew that there was somebody on the other side looking out for me.
Right.
So long story short, I'm not telling anybody about what I'm doing and I'm in my room chanting by myself. And if anybody came in, I just pretended like I wasn't doing that. I was like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? That's not what's going on. Literally, like
Yeah,
I'm not.
I was just singing a song.
Yes, I was like, you are not going to put me in no home. Like,
Yeah.
that's not happening to me.
Right.
And because I knew I was experiencing was spirit.
Mhm.
So I was led to a metaphysical store in Evansville, and which is a town, it's a city about an hour and a half away. And I call her Grandma Reiki. Her name is Cynthia. And she seen me and she looked at me and she said, do you need to talk? And I said, oh, I do. I need to talk really bad. And I told
Yeah.
her everything. I didn't know this woman at all. I told her everything. And she took my hand and she said, honey, that's Reiki. You're just doing energy healing and you're going to come teach, like, I'm going to teach you how. 2 months later, I was in her class and they've taken me under their wing. And then other mentors, Sherry and Larry Worley, they took me under their wing. And I have had so many people come to me, find me and just say, or I've been led to them
Mhm.
that's like, come here, girl, I've got you. And that's
Right.
what my whole journey has been. I learned Reiki right over COVID. So I taught myself everything.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I just channeled everything my guides were telling me and I wrote everything down. And when I met the Whirlies, I showed them all my notes and it was everything they had learned in their Reiki 2 and master class that they went and learned from the actual Reiki Institute. So that was really cool to know that I had been that guided by my guides for Reiki.
Wow. So when you talk about, this experience of you being in your room by yourself
Yes.
and you were chanting. So now where do you said that was spirit?
Yes.
That okay, like your inner, like your consciousness, like just it overcame, because it's amazing how when we're asking questions, when we're literally looking for answers, they show up. Like the
Everywhere.
universe, they it provides everywhere. And I love, was it scary for
Oh
you when
yeah.
yeah.
I was very scared. Just because when I was younger, my grandma really scared me with her. She threw knives at my cousin and I when we were 5 and told us we had demons in us. And there was a lot of really crazy things that happened. So to me, spirit was scary from a very young age. I didn't
Mhm.
understand that just because of the way I was brought up. And
Mhm.
I was
Mhm.
brought up in a house that we didn't talk about it. If that
Right.
happened, we didn't talk about it.
Right.
We just let it go. So that was very scary to me. But then there was also the part of my heart that was like, you are safe. And that's kind of what
Mhm.
I leaned into. But the programming in me thought you're not safe because it wasn't a safe situation for as a child.
Mhm.
So it was almost an inner battle for about 2 years.
Gotcha. So when you start also with, so then you're probably started to feel through the channeling your
Oh
own
yeah.
emotional healing and like
Yes.
release. And what I notice when I'm doing any type of energy work, whether it's meditation, whether it's writing my goals, whether it's, just focused intention, kaleidoscope meditations, whatever it is, like
Right.
there will be a conjuring up, because there's always trauma. There's all we walk out the door and we endure. We subconsciously are encountering that which is can be toxic and negative. So we're
Right.
always releasing and healing. And but when the more intentional you are with it, did you notice that you also became maybe more sad or more depressed?
Oh yeah. I sure did at the beginning. I remember, because when you start your spiritual journey anyways, you're like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
What the hell?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I remember when I first did my releases and I moved energy, and then and then I didn't know to put positive energy back yet.
Right, exactly. Because what happens when you clear all this stuff, if you don't then protect or put good stuff in, then you're open to having whatever, which can be but bad as well. That's why I love Palo Santo instead of full like sage. I have all of it, but I know Palo Santo is about keeping the good and
Right.
releasing the negative or the bad or what darker or whatever, or what we in layman's terms, what we would consider. It's all about
Yes.
perception, negative. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah,
Right. So I didn't know to do that at first. This was a lot of
mhm,
trial and error on my part.
yeah, oh, yeah,
Absolutely. But then after I figured out that I could use the Reiki and I could even do just positive affirmations and bring that in there and put that in. My daughter.
hi. Oh no, I
Hi,
love
Hadley.
it. Hi there, one of
Sneaking
her
in the
three
back.
little children. Yeah.
Yes. After I learned to replace the energy, that was a whole game changer. But I think when you're learning a skill, especially one that you're teaching yourself. Oh, Doritos. She wants Doritos. Can you say hi?
Girl, woo! She's
This
awesome. I
is my
love it.
energetic baby girl. This is Hadley Grace.
Hi, Hadley Grace. Aren't you adorable? I'm so glad we got to meet. Are we going to meet any of your other children?
They're they're all downstairs with their big cousin. Now go play. Thank you. Tell her bye. Have a good day. She
Bye.
just
Nice to
got
meet
done
you.
with preschool and she is wound for sound.
Oh, she's adorable. I love it. Hey, good energy. I love women. I was hyperactive,
Me too.
done and done. Be hyper. You'll, you know,
She's
lead
got
to
good
more success
energy.
in the world. Yeah, exactly.
That's my baby girl. But yes, I learned to replace that energy, and that was a
Mhm,
game
mhm.
changer for me. And that leveled me up enough to where I got the confidence to start doing Reiki for other people. For a while, I was like, no, 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 I'm not. I would do card readings for people
Mhm, mhm.
and I would check their chakras, but I wouldn't do a full session. And then I built confidence up over time and started that way doing sessions for people.
Oh, I love it. And you've been doing this for how many years now? Like for with others?
With others since 2018, so 4
Okay.
years. On myself since 2017.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Talk to that. Like when you started to realize what you were doing for yourself. Because I know for me, I've been on this lifelong adult journey of being intentional and on purpose from early on, from reading The Empowered Mind and realizing I had a real passion for wanting to empower people,
Right.
to be their best selves. But in order to be your best and highest self, you really have to know who you are. And there's a lot of dark night of the soul. There's a lot of discovering,
Yes.
answering questions that that maybe are very uncomfortable. And like, what you were just sharing, and when you start doing this work, it's painful. It can cause depression. It can cause anxiety. And I experience that quite often, because, but you got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
That's right. That's the name of this game.
Yeah.
You
Because
have to
then
lean into it completely.
100%, because the payoff, the reward, of what you're enabling for yourself in your life, and then now for others, and
Right.
wanting, to see others blossom. Because I bet when you look at your family members, that you've shared with us, there seems that there's a long line of like some mental disorders and stuff, or
Yeah.
some depression. Like my mom suffers depression. So I grew up with
Yeah.
a mother, who used to slap herself, beat herself in the face, looking in the mirror, screaming, "I hate myself and I'm ugly," and all this stuff, and which couldn't be farther from the truth. But
Right.
but she believed that. Doesn't matter what my daddy and me and my brother said to her or anybody else, you know. So, but I went on a tangent there. I apologize.
No,
But
that's
to
okay.
back to when you started to feel this for yourself and you felt that inspiration to want others to feel what you have been giving yourself.
Yes. So I was very, very lucky that I had people around me, not my family at first. My
Hmm.
family at first was I had one cousin who I was very honest with her about everything that was going on. And she was the one that told my whole family to just like back off and let me be. Because
Hmm.
I had channeled spirit as a child here and there. And
I
she knew
believe
about
that.
it, and so did all the rest of the family members. So she just kind of was like, hey, just let her do her thing. And that was such a blessing to have her on my side and to still have her on my team.
Hmm.
And I met Nancy Lasher. I don't know if you've seen her around on Facebook.
Nancy
Nancy
Lasher.
Nancy Lasher. She
Okay.
was one of my very first Reiki clients who have turned into she's Mama Bear. We call her Mama Bear in our tribe. She does Reiki with me. We do it all in Indiana. We have this big group of people who do Reiki together. And the term soul family,
Hmm. Hmm.
that was my first. She was my first soul family that I was like, come here, come here.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
yes, so my soul family showed up for me first.
Yes, I love that because the term, everybody's familiar with soulmate. I don't care, I think there's like everybody on the planet knows the term soulmate, whether you agree with it or not. But soul family, like, I love that because that's even deeper, because there's not just one person who's a
No,
soulmate. And if you think about it, like, everybody is a soulmate. Everybody you encounter, whether you have a good or a bad experience, because they're there that they bring something of value, whether you're, even if it's a negative experience, like, if you keep repeating the same experience over and over and over, that's painful in your life, or you keep meeting the same type of people, like, there's something that you haven't quite tapped into as to why that energy keeps showing up.
absolutely.
But it's all soul family.
It's all soul
But
family.
she's a good soul family,
She's
Nancy
Mama Bear.
Lasher, Mama
Yes,
Bear.
Mama
Yeah.
Bear. And I felt very lucky to find her. And then it was like after I met Nancy, we worked together and we still do Reiki for each other. All these people started coming in, and I it was so amazing to watch because I'm from a small little Amish Midwest town.
Hmm.
And when I started doing Reiki, it was in a town where it was full of Amish, and
Yeah.
everybody who was coming to see me was not from my town. And
Were they Amish?
no, they were
Oh.
scared of me. They thought I was a witch.
Oh,
Yeah. So everybody who came was not from there. So all of the Reiki journey became with people outside of my community. And then it grew to my community.
yeah.
And it grew to the people who actually live in the same county I live in. So now there's I call us a team because I think teamwork makes the dream work, and we all help each other. There's a big group chat of about 12 of us that are local that get together and do Reiki shares with each other. And I'm so blessed to have the community I do.
Yeah.
But it started because my soul, I call it my soul family, had to come first. They came to me first, and then we all built it together. It was total teamwork on everybody's part.
Yes. And I want to give a big shout out to the group of people. that we're co-hosting the retreat because, we're all on each other's everything. Like it, I mean, I choose to engage with, with most people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because if I want people to like and share and engage with my stuff, I am fully giving that energy back. And what I really noticed with the people, especially with the ones that we're doing the retreat with, like just like when I was sharing that you were coming on today, just the awesome, I'm so proud of you, like
Oh,
whoa, it's like we have this huge cheering section, and it goes along with a meme that I posted like earlier this week about like women need empowered women in their life who, it's not about competition, it's about support and cheering each other on. And that's what I love about
I
the
do too.
community, of people, even outside of the ones that are speaking at the retreat, because
Yes.
how I got involved with all you guys is through Carol Boston, through, this huge community of people. And we all are just, and it's real. It's
Yes, it's very real.
genuine. It's very heart centered.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think about that too, about how we all just vibe so well together. We can all talk and it's love. It's not, there's all this love between us all. And I know for myself and everybody else, I have went through so many transformations, changes, transitions in the past 6 months. And there has not been one person that hasn't reached out and just been like, I see you. I see what's going on. Like, I love you. I'm here for
Yeah.
you. Is there anything we can do for you? And
Right.
that is amazing because I
Hmm.
think sometimes we don't give online communities enough credit.
Right. And
We don't.
yeah. And I think that's more apparent since the pandemic. I think there was a lot of gift out of the pandemic
Oh, me too, for
with
sure.
online, with connecting with people, because like, as being human beings, we need that connection. And because we couldn't get it in person, we found a way like this. Our cameras, our laptops,
Yes.
our Zoom and StreamYard and Facebook Live became our best friends, because that's how we were able to still hold one another and be with one another. And it's like I feel like I know you, but I've not even met you in person. You know,
Yes.
John Corbellini, Carol Boss. I mean, like all of us. It's just like I feel like I'm not scared. There's nothing. I'm not worried. I mean, I met Edna and Deborah, back Christmas. They're the only
Yes.
people so far that I've met in person. And I saw Edna again last week, and it's like I was just like, it's like we've known each other all of our lives, or we've been friends for a long time because of what we share, you know.
Right. Well, and I'm excited to room with you guys.
I
We all are
know.
sharing a cabin together.
I know. It's gonna be the fun cabin.
The fun that's right. The party's with us.
Right. Yes. You, me, Sarah, and Angela.
Yes.
Yes, God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, it's gonna be
It's
so
going to be so
fantastic.
fun.
And then I know Christina's gonna be right there, you
Yeah,
know.
she'll be with us.
Yeah. We have Sony Rehan says, Lacy, your hair looks stunning.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, yes.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I know. I love it because you were all like, "Oh, I just got off work." I was like, I see
I
fabulousness.
right, I seem greased, but thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Where do you wait tables?
I work at a comedy club named Aces. It's actually my boss is a magician and he has comedy shows and magic shows there.
Oh, cool. Oh
And
my
it's on
God.
a golf course, so I fit right in. It
Oh,
works.
heck yeah.
I
That's
love it
awesome.
there.
That is awesome. That's awesome. Um, so okay, so we got some comments. So we've got Christina saying, Stephanie, you would be fantastic at Reiki. Thank you.
Yes.
And then Christina's also, yes, I had problems at first as well until I had time with coaches as well as practice with energy with myself. And I know that you and I believe Christina was on there, and maybe it was Yogesh. We were on there talking in Community Empowerment Hour a couple weeks ago about how coaches need coaches.
Yes.
And we're out there, we're hiring coaches ourselves, because again, it's not that you become on this journey and it's like, oh, it's over. No, I'm constantly wanting to learn, what more can I learn, what more can I have access, what more could I bring to the world.
Right. Yes.
And that's a lifelong process until I'm no longer here.
I love that, because my grandpa always says, like, if you're not learning, you're dying.
Oh yeah.
And I feel that so much. If we're not learning from each other, it doesn't have to be textbook learning, but it can be. But if we're not
Right.
learning and growing together, what are we doing?
100%, because what you know right now isn't even close to what you could know in this next moment, or this next moment, or this next
Right.
moment. And the more you know, I have this saying, like, the more you know, the more you do, the more you allow yourself to be open and free to experience what all life has to offer, the more you learn about yourself, the more you learn about what you want and why, like what's your purpose, like what your purpose can or could be, and what you could possibly be doing to make an impact. Like, I know
You listen to Abe.
oh, you mean Abraham Hicks? Oh God.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I mean,
You
the
Sorry.
well,
You were glowing when you were saying that. And I have another friend named Tammy Clark, who is Mama Bear #2 in our
yes.
community. And she loves Abe, and she glows like that when she talks. And you just did that. Like, you have like a direct channel to Abe. That was beautiful.
Oh wow, girl, you're giving me cold chills. My first experience with Abraham Hicks was Ask and It's Giveth.
Me
The
too.
book. Huh. Oh my God, cold chills, girl.
It was a gift. My
Yeah.
sister-in-law is a sex therapist, and she gifted me 2 books. Or no, she gifted me The Law of Attraction by Jerry and Esther Hicks,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
Nancy gifted me Asking It Is Given. I have been gifted so many of those books, and they changed my life every single time.
Abso-freaking-lutely, guys. I'm telling you right now, if you haven't, hey, John Corbellini,
Hi, John.
if you have not got the book, Ask and It's Giveth, it is hands down one of the best books you'll ever read on, again, and it's to the core of like self-awareness and the possibilities of what all is possible.
Don't you think you can just turn the page and land on something valuable? You don't even have to
Oh
read the
yeah.
whole book. You can just be like, what do I need to know today? And you're
Oh
like,
yeah.
holy cow, change
Oh
my
yeah.
whole life in 5 minutes.
Absolutely. And I feel that way about anything. I think anything we could ask any question and then open up a page to anything. Like, this is one of my favorite books.
What is it?
The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles.
Okay.
This is one of the deepest, I think, to the depth of human knowing and human possibility. And this is like, he wrote this in the 1930s. And it's not okay. So richness. Okay. So what he says in essence is, one cannot fully experience all that life has the possibility to offer unless one has in this system that we have, the financial means to do so. Wanting money is not bad. Wanting money is just, it gives you the ability to experience. And like, okay, so I just happened to open the book, chapter 13, getting into the right business. Success in any particular business depends, for one thing, upon your possessing in a well-developed state the faculties required in that business. Without good musical faculty, no one can succeed as a teacher of music. Without well-developed mechanical facilities, no one can achieve great success in any of the mechanical trades. I mean, just think about that. Like, success as in your life as a Reiki teacher, as a spiritual master. It's constant learning. As a life coach, it's constant learning.
You never stop. You learn every day. I learn
Yeah.
energy. Energy teaches me every day. I like
Yes.
to, when I think about, and I have guides and mentors, but I think that for me, Reiki is my biggest teacher. And Reiki energy, because it's an energy of itself, it's pure source energy. And if you will quiet your mind and allow it to speak to you, oh, it has so much to say.
Yeah. And that's where, like, for me, it's sometimes, it's like I'll meditate, and then I've got all these thoughts, and everybody has this happens with everybody. Oh, I can't meditate. Yeah, you can. Just yeah, you can. Just being in that place of silence. But it is
Yes.
amazing how, like, but then, it's like, oh shit, I got this to do. Oh God, but
Yes.
it's like, no, really be quiet, be present. And it's the answers do come. They come, and maybe even not right then, but all of a sudden you have them in a dream, or you walk
Yes.
into a store. I mean, like I said, I could pick up any book, or I could walk into anywhere and see a word. And that was an answer to something I was focused on asking a question about earlier in the day. Just be intentional
Yes. And
and
open to
open.
receive,
Yes.
because a lot of the times we close off our receiving because we don't think we're worthy. And
Hmm.
that's a very deep seated thing. And we just have to understand that, excuse me, if we're open to receive, those messages will pop up everywhere, like you said. And it's so much easier to get the downloads or get the messages when we're just open and we're just flowing or trying to flow. Flowing is a lot easier said than done, right?
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just go with
It
the
is.
flow. Yeah.
Right. Everybody's like, flow, flow. And you're like, how? Well,
Yeah.
guys, like you said, meditate.
Uh-huh.
Meditation is not something you get the first time you do it. It took me a long time to get to where I could sit still when I was meditating, and those thoughts didn't take me away from it. Because when you first do it, don't you think it hits you like you haven't done your dishes, your kids need a bath,
Right.
it's time
Yep.
for dinner, you got to vacuum, you haven't showered, da 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 da, and you're like, okay,
Yes.
you win today. I'm not going to meditate. And then you try it again, and then you just keep trying,
Right.
because eventually you're going to get it. Eventually you're
Absolutely.
going to get it, and you're going to get to sit
Absolutely.
there for a good 5 minutes. And it's okay if it's not much longer than that when you start. It's okay.
Right. Well, my girlfriend Deborah Attella, do you know her? Deborah,
No.
she has a podcast called Attella Like It Is.
I
But
love that.
like several years ago, she started the practice because I want to start a meditation practice. She goes, you know what? Every day I'm going to be dedicated to just 1 minute.
Yes.
Just 1 minute. And she every single day, without fail, 1 minute. And then it became 2, and then it became 3, and then it became, a many minutes. But even now, I sit in my sacred space every single morning. I'm drinking my bone broth, my lemon water. I'm starting my day, meditation, or writing my goals, or wishing people happy birthday on Facebook. Whatever that first hour or two is for me, it's still intentional.
Yes.
And even if I'm in Pennsylvania, or if I'm in Myrtle Beach, if I'm here, it does not matter. That's how I start my day. And but it doesn't mean that my meditations are perfect, because there always are those thoughts that are popping in, and that I've got this to do, and oh shit, I forgot about that, and but
Yes.
guys, like, so speak, Lacy, a little bit more about when you're saying, we hear that whimsical comment, just go with the flow. I was listening to Tasha Silver. She's speaking at the Omega Institute in New York, I think in June or September. Tasha Silver, do you know who she is?
No, I don't.
She wrote a book called "It's Not Your Money." John Corbellini, I sent him the prayer mantra.
Yes.
That it's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. It reprograms the subconscious mind.
Well, I'm interested, so send
I
it
will.
my way.
I will. And but she was talking yesterday and speaking about the flow, and she goes, "It's not about not having the desires or not
Right.
having the wants. It's about going, okay, you know what? Universe knows what I want and knows why. Heartfelt, giving it like handing it over
Yes.
and going, okay." And the answer comes, and it may not be in the exact way in which you had anticipated or envisioned it, but it still comes, and oftentimes it comes as something, even better,
It
or even
does.
even more.
Don't you think that's like the art of detachment?
Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Abso-freaking-lutely. And when you talk about, so speak a little bit more about that, the art of detachment.
So for me, it's and I tell everybody this, it's baby steps, because we don't make these huge leaps overnight, and it's not feasible to think that you're going to. So I want to tell everybody who's watching that it's baby steps, and
Mhm.
itty bitty baby steps make huge leaps. So don't ever get discouraged with yourself, because you might
Right.
think you're failing, but you're not, you're killing it. because you're taking those itty bitty baby steps. So a really easy thing to do to detach is to tell yourself, I am safe. It is safe. I am safe. Thank you, God. Thank you, universe, for this beautiful life. It is safe for me to let go. I always start with affirmations. That's the first thing I always start with, is I tell myself a story that I want, because we've told ourselves a different story. It's programmed in our mind. So the first thing that I have to do with detachment is say, it is safe for me to detach from this situation. And then I'll observe what thoughts come up, because there's a lot of thoughts that'll just, why it's not safe to detach.
Right.
And that's my ego. And is it Wayne Dyer who says ego is edging God out? Or Bob Proctor? It's one of those two.
Okay. I've not heard that term, but
it's one of those. And I think to myself, whatever you call it, the word water can't get you wet. Source, God, Buddha, whatever, right? I don't care what you believe in. I do not care. But just depending on that energy, because it's an energy, depending on that and knowing that you come from source, you're created from source. So just let go. But it really, for me, is a switch of the story I'm telling myself. Well, why am I telling myself that why am I attached to this? Because I'm a control freak. Why? Why am I a control freak? Well, because of this. Well, is it safe to let go? Yes. Okay, go out. And that's just really what I do, is I tell myself a new story and I go with it that way. And then it's baby steps every day after that to flow with it. And then you'll get to the point where you'll catch yourself not flowing. And that's liberating. When you can swat that thought out of your head and you're like, ha, I got it. I got it this time. And that's so liberating when you win. And you celebrate those baby step wins, guys. You celebrate them. Yay! Do it, because that is so good for you. And that's how you make those baby step wins. Is just, if you can't do anything else, tell yourself that it's safe, that you are safe, and talk yourself through it. You are your own best friend.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. And that's what you said during Community Empowerment Hour, when you woke up and realized that I am my best friend.
Yeah. And I think that we all should be our best friend. That doesn't mean that we don't love and have other best friends, but at the end of the day, you have to be your own best friend. And you have to talk yourself through your own mental battles. And you have to be the one to swat those thoughts. Or I'll even sometimes say in my head, stop. No, this isn't serving me. These thoughts aren't mine. These are intrusive thoughts.
Yes, I have a tool for that. I learned through Access Consciousness. Have you ever heard of Access Consciousness?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. A cold chills. Oh my God. Who does that belong to? Send it back with consciousness attached. Because everything, my belief system is everything is energy. Everything that we could look at, see, feel, touch, breathe, smell, taste, everything, and I came to that conclusion. I was a biology major. I came to that conclusion during one of my organic chemistry classes, and I happened to be gazing at the periodic table, and I realized that everything that exists, which exists, is just different conglomerations of atoms from the periodic table. Hence, everything is of itself. Everything is one. We are all one. And it was a huge epiphanic moment for me.
I love it.
And what you're talking about is like, whether you call it God, source, energy, it doesn't matter. Even atheists, like I'm a very, very spiritual atheist, but it's like, we're all of one another. We're all one. And I pray, and prayer, the word prayer is like you describe, water doesn't get you wet. The word water, the word water doesn't get you wet. What is to be described as water is what gets you wet.
Yes.
And if you're hurting, or there's something that I know that you need or you want, I absolutely pray. And the word prayer is my connection of energy that's combined with your connection of energy and the love and the light that I want to send your way. Yes. I've done that with this whole fucking, Putin ridiculousness. And imagining, because he's a human being, and there's probably a huge amount of pain that we have no idea that he suffered. Hitler, and Marco talked about this one of his lives. Hitler was abused, like as bad as abuse can be. growing up as a child. It does not give him an excuse for what he did later in life as an adult. So, but when you think of Hitler as a little boy, you can have empathy and compassion for that child who's being beaten or molested or being abused. So it's like with Putin, it's like I imagine like this white light, this connection of white light that I am, that he is, that we all are, and going into his heart. And I just imagine him having an epiphanic moment of his own worth and value and his own love for himself, and then seeing that his people are him, the Ukrainian people are him as well, and then having that love, it just transforms it so he doesn't want
I
to,
know. It's so awful, but I love that you do that because you bring up a really good point. I went to school, I was a social work and psychology major, and I actually wanted to study with like sexual abusers because I have a deep understanding, especially from my childhood, that you can have your childhood affects everything, and it builds and it builds and it builds, and you're not a bad person because you've had
right.
nobody is people do bad things. That doesn't mean they're
Yep.
bad.
Mm-hmm,
People
mm-hmm.
people are people, and people do bad things, and deep down, like you said, we all come from unconditional love. So send
Yeah.
that to people and understand that just because me and you don't act on that doesn't mean that we couldn't ever be put in a situation that it might not get brought out,
Mm-hmm.
because we don't know what other people are going through. We have no idea. And
Absolutely.
I agree with you. We are all energy. And I also believe energy is never created or destroyed, and that everything can
Exactly.
happen right now, and that the present is the future and the past right now. So
Yes.
we can change things up. And the
Mm-hmm.
more love you send to situations like that, the better it can be, because we do control our own reality.
Yes.
We
Yes.
do.
Yes. Like what Marco was saying, God always says yes. You're
Yes.
always creating. You can't just wake up and go, you know what, I don't want to create my life today. We're always, always, always creating.
Aren't we living the life that we wanted to create 5 years ago?
Abs Abso-freaking-lutely. I know yes, 100%.
I
I
am
know I am.
too.
I mean, with empowered conversations, with what
Yes.
with what I've been doing with Defa Rickin'
Love
Yes, and
it.
man, so that like, oh my God, I was just telling my buddy Brad today, who he's one of my best friends of like almost 30 years, who came to get his cookbook, and is that okay? So I lost my thought. I lost my thought. What we
Brad Cookbook. He came to
the,
you today and you were
yeah,
telling him.
but I was telling him about oh my God. About oh my, I totally lost my train of thought. We were talking about something. Um
We're living the life that we wanted 5 years ago, that we put in, that
oh
we've
yeah,
manifested. We've put the work and taken the
yes,
inspired action to get it to where we are now.
yes, I know what it was. It's the story, and were you on the very, very first Zoom call that we had where we were all being introduced, that we talk about
Mhm.
this retreat? We didn't even know what the name of it was called. We knew what
Yeah.
we were doing. We came up with a name. Okay, so about a year ago or maybe 10 months ago, Christina, in one of the groups that obviously we're all a part of, it wasn't like she posted it on her personal profile, but
Right.
she says, who wants to do a retreat out in Arizona in the spring? And the emoji with the girl with her hand way up?
Yes.
Okay. I was like, me! Bunch of exclamation points, because that's just me. And a couple months later, or 3 or so months later, I get a notification or something like, you're invited to a Zoom call about the retreat and
Yes.
spring. And I was like, oh, cool. I thought I was going on a retreat with a group of people. We were trying to organize a group of people to go on this retreat. And so it's on a Sunday afternoon. I'm taking a spiritual bath. And you know what a spiritual bath is,
Yes.
where we're the salts and the stones and my written intentions in the water.
Right.
And I got a
Wow.
notification. I got a notification about time for the Zoom call. And I'm like, oh crap. So I come on, and because I'd literally just started, I come on, and obviously with my camera off, everybody.
Right.
And that's when I realized, oh, I'm a speaker. at
Yes.
this retreat. I had been saying that I wanted to do that for like 2 or 3 years, like getting together with a group of, empowered women like yourself, everybody with a different, different specialty, a different,
Yes.
life awareness modality. And here I was here with, all these people. And we were talking about, hosting this retreat, which you got to sign up, guys. You got to sign up and
Yes.
join us, even if it's on Zoom.
Isn't that so cool? Because I think about when I was in my little Montgomery Reiki room where I love witch stuff, so it never bothered me. That's I'm into everything. I don't judge. I don't care.
Me too.
Whatever floats your boat. I'm happy if you're happy. And but I was thinking, I want to make this more because, I have all this information. I'm sitting there doing Reiki on people. I've got my crystals. I'm educating. I loved sending packets home with people. I'm like, take all this and read it. And then let's
Oh,
talk about it next time you come because I wanted to teach and talk. And I thought one day I'm going to teach this.
mhm.
One day I am going to stand up and I'm going to teach Reiki and I'm going to teach everybody that we have this power inside of us with our hands, just with our little hands, and all we got to do is touch your hearts and all our stuff, and it works, and it's not complicated, and it's not scary, and it's not hard. I mean, it can be hard, but it's not hard to do the healing.
Right.
And that we're all very worthy of it. We're all very worthy of healing, and we're all very worthy of finding our tribe to do that with. And
Mhm.
and look what we're doing, Steph.
I know, girl. I know. That's it. I mean, it's like I'm telling you, when you keep putting yourself out there, when you know what you want, and more importantly, why, because your why is driving you. My
Yes.
why, I want to see more and more and more people in the world empowered, loving themselves and living their best lives. The happier, the more joy, the more you know hurt people,
Yes.
happy people don't.
Yes. Healed people heal people. I tell people that all the time. Healed
Yes,
people heal people.
yes,
And you don't have to be a Reiki master to heal. You just guys just hands-on healing on. Your hands will turn on and you just put them on your chakras or wherever. If
yes,
your knee
yeah,
hurts, put
yeah,
them on your knee. It
yeah.
don't matter.
Lacey and I was putting on my full moon oil that I get from Malia Black. She's so fabulous. Um, we were, you were doing your stones. I was doing my oil right here on my throat
Yes.
chakra, on my heart and sacral and solar plexus. Because you were saying before we got on live, you said we are in heart and sacral healing right now, or transformation.
So we just left Aries season, which
Hmm.
was fiery. That fire Aries. We are it's the first month of the new astrological year. So
Yeah.
Aries season always starts with a bang, right? We're just
Yes.
go. And then we've got sensual Taurus. It's take care of yourself, go within, love, nurture, but we're still a bull. But we're
Yeah.
a nurturing, loving bull who wants from self-care. And that's how I look at Taurus season is you put yourself first and have that boundary up to put yourself first because Aries season kicked your ass. So now Taurus season is going to bandage it up for you.
Yes, yes. So I'm a Pisces. So I'm like the oldest of all the astrological signs, whereas Aries is the youngest. And speaking of bull, I sold timeshare for, I don't know, almost a year after college. And my sales manager said, Stephanie is a smiling pit bull. She'll close you with a smile. Yeah, I thought that was one of the greatest compliments that
It
anybody
is.
who is your manager could get. Yeah, that was like, yeah.
My moon sign's Pisces. I'm a Sag.
So when's your birthday?
12/12.
Oh, girl. Oh, that's love that.
I love
Yeah.
it too. But
Yeah.
I feel so deeply because my moon sign, that's your feelings and
Hmm.
emotions, and mine's in Pisces. So I understand that Pisces energy so well. I get it because it's just there. It's my emotions, it's my feelings, it's how I express my love.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. I know I had my chart read by a good friend of mine's mother who like this was like 1999, and she, yeah, she lives out in Hawaii.
You know the
Silva,
Reiki chart?
Noob the Goob, if he happens to ever watch my podcast,
Yes.
your mom read my chart or did a chart for me about the moon, all the astro, the whole chart, and it was like whoa, whoa.
It's
It was,
crazy. Tracy does mine for me. Tracy Van Fleet. She's an
oh,
astrologer.
yeah, she
She
was
is
on here.
amazing. Tracy has learned, Tracy and Nancy and Tammy and all of them did Reiki 1, 2, and 3 with me. And Tracy is an amazing astrologist. She'll go through and look at your chart and do predictive astrology. She knew that I was going to do a Reiki share on 11/11 before I knew I was going to do a Reiki share on 11/11.
Oh, I love it. I freaking
She's
love it.
amazing.
1111, y'all, that's magic numbers. Any like 12 12 333 5555. I mean, you
Yes.
take, like earlier it was 4444. I just happened to look at the live counter. It was
Yes.
literally 44 minutes and 44 seconds, and it went, yeah. I was like, and again, I pay attention to everything. There are signs everywhere, and there are signs and numbers. There
There is
really are, whether
huge
you want
signs
to
and
believe that
numbers.
or not. All you have to do is say, okay, well, I don't believe that, Stephanie, but then hold on, let me think. And then all of a sudden, I'm telling you, okay, for people who are skeptics, or for people who think a certain way, but that will just don't allow themselves to open up to a new way of thinking, ask yourself about this new way of thinking that you're like, ugh, like, ugh. All you have
Right?
to do is go buy a Nissan Maxima. You've never had a Nissan Maxima before, and all of a sudden, you never noticed Nissan Maximas before
They're
because you drove
everywhere.
a Ford, and all of a sudden they're everywhere. When we actualize on a new way of access, or we have access to something new and different, all of a sudden you have permanent access. And I'm gonna tell you, I love the meme. Once the mind stretched by an idea can no longer return to its original dimensions.
True.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Once you know, you can't unknow.
Exactly. Cold chills again. Exactly. And
It's like Reiki. People will get overwhelmed with the energy because you're more aware, your thoughts, you're in tune. You open yourself to be one with the universe right there. And they're like, "Oh, what do I do?" And I'm like, "You work with it. Don't fight it because you can't take it
right.
back."
Yeah. Right.
There's a reason you wanted it, because deep down your soul knows that you need it. And it's okay to be scared. It's okay to be like, "Oh, I don't know." That's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But ask yourself, why are you scared?
Right.
Is it a programmed belief? Is it your belief, or is it your family's belief? Is it a belief your grandfather had that got passed down to you that's not yours? That was a big thing for me when I started Reiki. And I feel like I'm going everywhere right now. Sorry, was
Girl, I
my
love it.
belief system had to be unprogrammed. That was my
Right.
first year and a half, was completely deprogramming my belief system because it was fucked up. And I'm just being blunt. It was so fucked up. And I had to unfuck myself. And
Absolutely.
unfuck myself, and I did it with stride, and I was just like, we're keeping going because
Right.
this is not the life I want. And it
Right.
wasn't, and it takes a while. That's why I say it's baby steps. You do not
Mhm.
unfuck your we're still doing it. We're going to do it the rest of our lives.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
No, you're right. Like, it's just, we're never done.
Yeah.
The work
No.
is never done.
No.
We're
No.
layers, we're onions. We just peel shit back.
Right. And another thing, when you were mentioning the reason why it's scary is because of attachment. You
Yes.
know, I grew up with certain values, that were, they were core values that I grew up with in my life, and then all of a sudden, I I started reading, and I'm like, whoa, 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 this doesn't align. This makes no sense. And it just kind of opened me up to like a whole nother possibility of what else, of what was real,
Yes.
and I'm telling you, there's no going back. There's no
None.
trying to fit in that box. But it is scary because, the more you reveal of yourself, you run the risk of losing people in your life. And but
That's right.
those that are meant to be here will,
Yes.
and not everybody that's meant, even in this realm, not everybody that's meant to be is meant to be here forever.
Right.
But they are meant to be here
They
for
are,
that
because
period of time.
we're going to learn from people. Like
Yes.
we were talking about earlier, we're learning and growing with people. And you said this earlier about soul family or connections, or if you don't believe in that, then we can just call them people who you feel really close with when you meet them for no unapparent reason. They don't have to always be good, but the bad teaches you a lesson too. And every lesson is a blessing. Every lesson is a blessing. No matter, even if it feels like you're walking, trudging through the swamp at the time, at the end of it, you're going to look back and be like, whoa, I wouldn't know this, this, and this, or I wouldn't even know this about myself if I wouldn't have had to go through that. Because you don't know how strong you are till you have to be.
Thank you. Thank you. And, that being said, I mean, there are other people that have, endured or suffered. Like, like not everybody who's abused becomes Hitler or Putin and wants to
Right.
destroy. I was bullied and picked on as a little girl, and I took it out on my brother, Stan. I have two brothers, and I took it out on Stan. And everybody also bullied my brother Stan because he was very hyper. I'm very, very hyper. And, that was whereas for me, instead of becoming a bully, like outside of, beating my brother up, my brothers,
Right.
I, and that's not funny, but I mean, little kids do,
Yes.
that's pretty normal, but it's still because Stan was being abused outside by all of his peers, thrown in trash cans, ostracized, neglected, really, really, really hurtful stuff. Then he comes home and his sister is also, being mean to him. And but so when I got bullied and picked on and made fun of and outcasted and not chosen for the kickball team,
Me
you
too.
know, yeah, I didn't become a bully. Like I didn't grow up resenting and fueling that anger, being picked on. I did the opposite. And my daddy also told me if people didn't like you, they wouldn't pick on you. So I go above and beyond to like tease and carry on with people, call people big honking goobs, stuff like that. If I'm not calling you big honking goob, it's not a good thing, and where hurt people, but you can also, just because you had hurt doesn't mean that you still have to live that life of hurt and hurt
Right.
others.
Absolutely. And I love that because you said the perfect thing. You said just because somebody's hurt doesn't mean they're going to go out and hurt people, but don't you think you hurt yourself if you don't do anything with it, you just constantly hurt yourself. You can bully the hell out of yourself
Yes.
and you can be your own worst enemy or your own best friend.
Yeah.
And you can kind of be both at the same time.
Yeah.
Which
Oh,
is
yeah.
crazy. But yeah, you bully yourself too, because when you're bullied or called names or made fun of, that kind of sticks in your subconscious and you think that that's a story you tell yourself. So it replays over and over. And if
Mhm.
nobody's telling you, you're telling you until you fix that story.
Yes, absolutely. And to your point, it's like because the term hurt people. Okay, so when somebody does something hurtful towards you or ugly towards you, know that it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with what they're feeling about themselves, which is why Lacy and myself and John Corbellini and Christina and Tracy Van Fleet are out here doing what we're doing. Through what we've been through, we're wanting to see the healing we brought in our own lives. We're
Yes.
wanting to empower other people to see the value they can bring to their lives by being intentional, on purpose, and really discovering who they are. And I want to make sure, hold on a second. There's like a weird sound. Anyway, yeah, I mean, but I mean, that's what drives me.
Yeah.
Personally, is wanting, because people have been ugly and nasty, and it's like, I'm not going to be ugly and nasty. Doesn't mean I'm perfect. No,
No.
I am not.
God, no.
But you know, if more people are happy, then there's no reason for them to be hating on people who are.
You're right. And you're right. Happy people don't hate on people.
Right.
And
Right.
and when you think about the people who are bullying, like mean girls, we've all been a victim of a mean girl.
Hmm.
They're very upset with themselves on the inside. So they're taking out on somebody who's being authentic to themselves because they want that. So let's ostracize that person who we really look up to and want to be, because it's easier to make fun of that person than to be like, hey, how do you do that? Or do you have any tips for me? Can you help me? And be,
Right.
instead of being, and don't be a mean girl, be a yes girl. Like, yes, I'll help you.
Love that.
Yes, I'm here for you. Yes, let me teach you. Like, we're all, teamwork makes the dream
Yes.
work, baby. We're all better together.
Thank you. And no one, like, I'm not better than anybody.
No.
I am a part of everybody. And it's when you see yourself as separate from, that's them, they're out there, that is outside of me. Instead of, like I said, if Putin would only realize that one of your children.
Yes. I
If
have 4 here right now. I have my little cousin. I usually have 4 kids 2 or 3 nights a week, but I don't know which one. Is it Hadley?
Hey,
Okay.
Hadley.
I bet that's Hadley Grace again. She does videos with me and yoga with me, and she's led meditations with me. My girl, for 5 years old, she's an old soul.
I'm telling you, I love that. Like, she seems like a strong, like a strong woman, and she'll
She is
grow into a
already.
strong woman.
Yes,
Owning
actually
it.
owning it. Her cousin's 12 and was like, Hadley's already like a little woman. And I said, yeah, she really is. And I encourage that. I want that. I want to raise a strong woman who can lean on herself and be her own best friend.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Be her. Yes. Frickin' thank you.
That's,
Hey, Hadley.
can you
You
tell them
are so fabulous.
what do you say?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So yes. All right. I love you. Oh, did you give Steph a kiss? Blow her kisses.
Aw.
Oh, where'd you go?
We have someone who just joined. Lynn says, hello, Lynn. And Christina says, sometimes it is really nice to connect with others to know you are not alone in your values. 100%. Always, Christina, it is really nice to connect with others that share core values, and the more you're vibing your own unique, power, the more you attract people who are resonating with that high vibe. Lacy, you are frozen, girl. You there? Are you there, Lacy? You are frozen. I've lost you. Lacy. Two powerful women on the other side of the camera. It was just too much for the internet to handle today. I'm going to give it another few seconds. We have been talking for an hour, but it's amazing how the conversation flows. Like, I could sit here and talk to people about this kind of stuff. Oh, there she is. She's coming back on. I could talk to
Sorry.
people. Oh, girl, no. Okay, so I'm going to remove this one.
Okay.
I could talk
Here
to
I am.
people. I was saying I could talk to people like this for hours and hours and hours. I mean, and which is where the idea for Empowered Conversations came about. Is sitting out on my back deck. I mean, because I get real. I mean, these type of conversations that I've been having through Empowered Conversations, I have quite often with people who share the same core values in my life, and it's just like, God, we got to have a podcast. We got to share this stuff.
I
You
love
know,
it.
yeah. Well, I love your daughter. She is kudos,
Thank
love
you.
it. And you are being an incredible freaking role model. Like, for her to be like, oh yeah, my mama's owning it. My mama owns it too. So that's what I'm going to do.
I will say that I put so much into those kids because they're a product of me, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
Those are my babies.
absolutely. Well, girl, we've been talking for over an hour now. So this has been an incredible Empowered Conversation faux show. Again, I
love
can't wait to meet you in person, give you a big hug.
I know I'm gonna squeeze you.
I know. We're all gonna like squeeze. We're like, we're gonna squeeze our. We're not gonna. We'll just be, I don't know. We'll disintegrate into.
Well, I want to tell you thank you because this has been such a good conversation, and I have never been so vulnerable about my story until you. So thank you for allowing me a space to share.
You are so welcome, Lacy, and thank you for sharing your heart and being with us today and sharing all the amazingness with our audience and anybody watching on the replay. reach out to Lacy, reach
Yes.
out. Come on, guys. Click the link in the description of this podcast. Come join us. Even if you can't come to Arizona, you can join the entirety of the retreat via Zoom, all of us. And you'll still be entered in to win the raffles. You won't be able to taste my food, or you won't be able to get like the hands-on session that that Fernando's giving away. But we are all giving away, I'm giving away a cookbook, a signed cookbook. D frickin' y'all. D frickin' healthy
Love it.
is delicious. And I know you're giving away a Reiki session.
I'm giving
for
away
your
a free
raffle.
Reiki session. Yes.
So many prizes. And again, you're going to be in the presence of people who are out here being intentional with being amazing and wanting to empower others to be their amazing guys. What more can you ask for?
Come as you are.
Yes. Oh my God. Access Consciousness sent me an email today, and and this was another question. How much better can it get? How much? I know. How much better can it get? What else is possible?
Oh, Carol Boston.
I know. God, I love her. I love her.
Me too.
All right, guys. You stay right here. I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. Thank you so much for being a
Thank
part
you,
of Empowered
everybody.
Conversations. Yes.
Hadley says bye.
Bye, Hadley. It was so wonderful to meet you.
So wonderful to meet you too.
Oh. Oh. Bye, guys.